Hey guys, it's Shy of the Shy Narwhal. So one of my favorite videos I've ever done for my channel was the 5 canceled Disney films video that I did a while back. So I thought I've been wanting to do a part 2 for quite a while now. So yeah, here it is. Here's part 2 of 5 canceled Disney films. Let's get into it.
The Disney canon of films, the animated films, the reason why they resonate from generation to generation is because they're great stories. The whole Fantasia concept really was something that Walt hatched. It was really what was called a package picture. It initially started with Sorcerer's Apprentice, and it became such an expensive short that they decided to create a bunch of others.
It's such an elusive idea, but really it's a celebration of creativity and imagination, and a way of looking at music through the lens of narrative and picture.
The original Fantasia from the 1940s was the third ever feature-length animated film and was produced by Walt Disney himself. The film was seen as a masterpiece by many from the moment it was released, and while many are aware of the sequel that was released nearly 60 years later in 1999, I was surprised to learn that there was a planned third installment that was never released. The film would have been titled Fantasia 2006, and even had 4 segments that were completed, these being Destino, The Little Match Girl, One by One, and Lorenzo. However, Fantasia 2006 was being developed in the early 2000s, which was a time where traditional hand-drawn animation wasn't performing as well as computer. A few of Disney's flops at the time consisted of Home on the Range, Treasure Planet, and Atlantis. Because of the poor performance of these films, Fantasia 2006 was unfortunately cancelled.
Long ago, about 1811, in a little green valley this side of heaven, on the banks of a river, peaceful and free, lived the Harpers.
My Peoples is an animated film concept that was developed by Barry Cook, who is known for being the co-director for the 1998 version of Mulan. The plot consisted of a Romeo and Juliet type situation with 2 families, the Harpers and the McGees, who were in a long-lasting feud with one another. One of the main characters, Elgin Harper, has a hobby of creating dolls out of various household objects, with 8 of the notable dolls being Angel, Angel's dog, Abe, Crazy Ray, Cherokee, Bluesman, Miss Spinster, and Good Oh Boy. Elgin Harper ends up falling in love with Rose McGee, of course with the disapproval of both families. In an attempt to have Elgin forget about his daughter, Old Man McGee concocts a batch of Blue Man brew, but accidentally brings the dolls to life instead. Beginning development in the 1990s, the film was planned to have a mixture of CGI and hand-drawn animation, with the dolls being in CGI and the backgrounds and humans being traditionally animated.
What? You were fixing to steal this truck, weren't you?
Woman, you've been sipping a hooch again.
The film was eventually canceled in favor of Chicken Little, which was released in 2005.
One of my favorite fairy tales of all time. It doesn't really have a definitive version, is Jack and the Beanstalk. So I'm proud to announce that we are in production of our version of Jack and the Beanstalk, and it is called Gigantic.
Disney's Gigantic is one of their more well-known canceled projects. The film was to be a musical comedy directed by Meg LaFau, one of the writers of Inside Out, and Nathan Greeno, who was one of the directors of Tangled. The film was going to be about Jack, who lives in Spain during the Age of Exploration, who befriends a 60-foot-tall, 11-year-old giant named Ima, who treats him like a living doll. The film was announced during the 2015 D23 Expo and was set to be released in November of 2018, but that was then replaced on the calendar with Ralph Breaks the Internet. Gigantic even made an Easter egg appearance in Zootopia, implying that the film was pretty far into its development. The film was pushed back to November 25th of 2020, but then was officially canceled in 2017.
One of the significant chapters of the domestic cat's history began during the Middle Ages. By this time, he was a common household pet in all the great cities of Europe. A cat sunning himself on the window ledge was just as familiar a sight as a flower pot.
Fraidy Cat was a planned, traditionally animated film that began production in 2004 and was to be released in 2009, directed by John Musker. The film revolves around a cat named Oscar and a cockatoo named Karina, living a luxurious life with their loving owner in a flat in London. This all changes when another pet in their neighborhood gets kidnapped, and Oscar becomes the main suspect. Karina and Oscar have to work together to prove his innocence. This film was meant to be kind of a parody/satire of Alfred Hitchcock noir films. Unfortunately, this film was never greenlit, simply due to how obscure the concept was. The Disney Animation Studio's president at the time, David Stanton, along with others in the studio, had concerns that the general public, much less children, would not understand the Alfred Hitchcock references and overall satire that the film was going for. The film was quickly shelved in July of 2005.
Mickey, it's good to see you again! Wait, you would not be here if Westland is not in peril!
Actually, we're here to fix the projectors. Do you know what happened to them?
The Gremlins was to be a feature-length animated film released in 1943 with characters by the same name created by children's author Roald Dahl and Walt Disney. The story takes place at the time what would have been present-day Second World War. The film involved these little creatures called Gremlins who caused mechanical mischief with the British Air Force. The film was cancelled, however, a book simply titled The Gremlins was released. The Gremlin characters, however, continue to make appearances throughout Disney media over the years, most notably in both of the main Epic Mickey games. A book called Gremlin Trouble is available to order on Amazon and talks about the in-depth history of the characters and the film that was never made. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. For the new year, I'm trying my best to post once a week. It's my New Year's resolution to post at least once a week on this channel. Hopefully at some point I'll get to post more than that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.